Welcome to the 2023 Law Alumni Society Awards. Meeting alumni has been one of the great joys of being dean the past 8 years. Our alumni are interesting, smart, accomplished, and great stewards of our beloved law school. And that is certainly the case with the Law Alumni Society Award winners this year. They epitomize the benefits of a Penn Carey law education. And so I'm happy to present awards to 6 alumni who are the best of the best in their fields of academia, legal practice, and the judiciary. This is my last Law Alumni Society ceremony as I turn over the reins of the law school in July to a wonderful new dean, Sophia Lee, a member of our faculty who is a distinguished scholar, consensus builder, and a natural-born leader. It has been a tremendous honor to serve as dean and again to meet so many remarkable alumni. Now, on to the awards. We start with the Young Alumni Award, which recognizes extraordinary achievement in the first 10 years since law school graduation. The Young Alumni Award this year goes to Steve Stoute from our class of 2014. Steve recently became the first Black president in the 152-year history of Canisius College. He's also the youngest president they've had. Appointed in 2022, Steve has wasted no time in putting his stamp and vision on the school. A believer in higher education, which he said opened doors for him, Steve has led an initiative at Canisius called RISE, Renew, Inspire, Serve, and Empower, to make Canisius more accessible and affordable for its students. Nearly 100% of the student body at Canisius receives some form of financial aid. Beginning in fall 2024, no standardized tests will be required for admission. His stellar work at DePaul, the largest Catholic university in the United States, where Steve served as chief of staff to the university president and senior vice president for strategic initiatives, paved the way for his appointment as president of Canisius. As chief of staff at DePaul, he was the president's senior advisor, charged with implementing the strategic plan, leading transformative institutional projects, and serving as liaison to the Board of Trustees. Steve credits his education for his success. Born and raised in Trinidad, Steve came to the United States in 2000. He attended Seton Hall University, where he played on the men's soccer team, and graduated magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in business administration. He earned a master's degree in exercise and sports science at the University of North Carolina, and then a JD from the University of Pennsylvania Carey Law School. On his departure from DePaul, the school president said, "Canisius is gaining a highly accomplished and astute leader with a devout commitment to the Catholic mission. We are proud to honor an alumnus with such a strong urge to serve and such success so early in his career." This year's Young Alumni Award goes to Steve Stoute.
Thank you to the Penn Law Alumni Society and Dean Ruger for this incredible honor. I have the pleasure and privilege of serving as the 25th president of Canisius College in Buffalo, New York. And it is not an understatement to say I would not have this opportunity were it not for my education and my experience at Penn Law. The faculty, the staff, my peers, all of the people who make the Penn Law experience what it is, have been critically important to giving me the skills, the competencies, the confidence I need to continue to serve a new generation of students in this capacity. As the first in my family to go to college, higher education has completely transformed my life. And it is my goal each and every day to serve others by creating a similar opportunity to change lives, to empower people, and to make our society better. And those are the things I learned at Penn Law. I can still remember the day I received the call that I was admitted to Penn Law, and I couldn't believe it. I never envisioned that I would have the opportunity to walk those halls in the footsteps of so many giants in our legal profession and work with such incredibly dedicated faculty and engage in intellectual conversations and debates with my peers. So many of us have gone on to do incredible things, and I am blessed to be counted a Penn Law alum. I look forward to continuing to contribute to our society, to our field, and to many, many more generations of young people who will go on and set the world on fire, very much in our Ignatian tradition. Thank you so much. Take care.
Our next award is the Lewis H. Pollock Award. The Lewis Pollock Award, named for the former dean of the law school and then a federal judge and an advocate extraordinaire, Lou Pollock, honors an alumnus who has had a career advancing social justice through service to the public interest. This year's recipient is Gigi Sohn from the class of 1986. Gigi is one of the most visible advocates for access to the Internet in the United States. She was named one of the heroes who saved the Internet in recognition of her role in the FCC's adoption of the strongest ever net neutrality rules. Today, she is Distinguished Fellow at the Georgetown Law Institute for Technology, Law, and Policy, and a Benton Senior Fellow and Public Advocate. Her path to prominence began when she became Executive Director of the Media Access Project, the first public interest law firm dedicated to communications access. In that role, Gigi fought for citizens' rights before the FCC and in the courts. In 2012, she joined the Ford Foundation as a project specialist in the Media, Arts, and Culture Unit. And then she went on to co-found and serve as Executive Director of Public Knowledge, a Washington-based nonprofit focused on freedom of choice in the digital marketplace. After a quarter-century of public interest advocacy, she joined the government, becoming Special Counsel for External Affairs for the Chairman of the Federal Communications Commission. As counselor to the chairman, she served as the primary liaison to Capitol Hill and the Oval Office, and represented the FCC in forums around the country, drawing praise for her tireless advocacy on behalf of consumers. Along the way, Gigi has contributed her knowledge to various academic institutions, including the University of Colorado Law School, the University of Southern California Annenberg Center, the University of Melbourne Faculty of Law, Georgetown University, and the Benjamin Cardozo School of Law at Yeshiva University, as well as here at her alma mater. It's my great pleasure to present the Louis H. Pollock Award to Gigi Sohn. Congratulations, Gigi.
Greetings. I'm humbled and honored to receive the Louis H. Pollock Award. Thank you to the Law Alumni Society, Dean Ruger, and everyone who supported the decision to recognize my commitment to advancing justice. I also want to thank my friends and family for their love and support. And I am grateful to the law school, its professors, and its staff for giving me the tools to become a successful public advocate. Judge Pollock's career with Penn Law and on the U.S. District Court in Philadelphia is well known. What folks may not know is that for years he volunteered his services to the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund and played a critical role in a number of major civil rights cases, including Brown versus Board of Education. My life's work, advocating for policies that ensure everyone, regardless of who they are or where they live, is connected to essential communication services, has its roots in the civil rights movement. When a Mississippi TV station broadcast racist propaganda and refused to cover the movement, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. urged the United Church of Christ to challenge the renewal of the station's license at the Federal Communications Commission. That successful challenge led to the ability of advocates like me to participate in all manner of FCC proceedings. Universal and affordable access to communications networks like the Internet remains a social and racial justice issue. The digital divide persists, particularly in lower-income neighborhoods, rural areas, and communities of color. This award provides not only validation, but motivation to continue the fight. Thanks again to everyone responsible for bestowing this great honor on me.
Our next award is the Howard Lesnick Pro Bono Award. This award, named for the founder of the law school's public service program, goes to an alumnus who has demonstrated a sustained commitment to pro bono or public sector work during a career in the private sector. The winner of the Howard Lesnick Pro Bono Award is Victoria Joseph. Victoria is an alumna of the University of Pennsylvania, undergraduate 2011, and then the law school 2017, where she was associate editor of the Journal of Constitutional Law and comments editor of the Journal of Law and Public Affairs, and earned a certificate in business and law from Wharton. She's also served as member of the board of Penn Carey Law's Black Alumni Association. Professionally, Victoria is an associate at Hogan Lovells, where she's involved in pro bono work. 3 years out of this law school, Victoria was named special prosecutor for the state of Minnesota in the prosecution of the George Floyd murder case. She worked with Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and famed civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump on the prosecution of 4 Minneapolis police officers for the brutal assault and murder of George Floyd. She said of her pro bono work, "I can't just do things for the sake of doing them. I need to do them because I know that this will make a difference. Victoria, you are making a difference, and we are honored to present the Howard Lesnick Pro Bono Award to Victoria Joseph.
I am truly honored to receive the Howard Lesnick Pro Bono Award for my commitment to pro bono work while working in the private sector. My pro bono work is not only the most challenging work that I've done so far in my career, but also the most rewarding. My mother, who passed away in 2021, is the one who inspired me to use my resources to help others who are in need. She often employed people who were cast aside by society, and watching her use her job to both support her family financially and to uplift people who really needed it continues to inspire my drive to maintain an active pro bono practice today. From my time in law school, where I was awarded the Outstanding Pro Bono Service Award, to now, I have maintained an active pro bono practice. I am grateful to my law firm, Hogan Lovells, and my incredible mentors at the firm. Hogan Lovells is known for its large-scale impact litigation and its commitment to pro bono work. At the firm, I have done an amazing array of pro bono projects, from housing rights cases to protecting voters' rights with the NAACP in Virginia, representing pro se litigants in federal court, and working on Social Security and disability appeals. My most rewarding and challenging opportunity was being appointed as a special counsel in Minnesota in the case that prosecuted Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd in 2020. I remember getting the call to help with that case on the day the firm gave us off to reflect on George Floyd's murder. There was nothing more I wanted to do that day than to be a part of a team of amazing lawyers that were helping to bring justice for George Floyd and his family while the whole world watched. Our team worked around the clock submitting motions to all 3 levels of the court system in Minnesota. We traveled to and from Minnesota during the heart of the pandemic to argue motions and support the trial team up to and during trial. I had no doubt throughout the process of preparing for trial that the jury would reach the right outcome, and securing justice for the Floyd family was a high that I'm still riding today. This experience and all of my pro bono experiences have taught me the importance of pro bono work done by the private sector, and that we need to use our vast financial and intellectual resources to serve the public interest. I also want to shout out my peers who have dedicated their lives to public interest work and who have undoubtedly inspired me and the work that I do. So thank you for your hard work and dedication. My hope is that I can continue to positively impact the lives of others with my future work. Thank you.
Our next honoree is Randy Mastro from the law school class of 1981, winner of the Alumni Award of Merit. People are often defined by what is said about them when they're not around. Here's how people have described Randy as a lawyer. One of the premier litigators in the country. One of the most effective courtroom lawyers I've ever seen. In a league of his own in the courtroom. During Randy's career, he's represented, among so many others, Dow Jones and Company, Verizon, Xerox, Madison Square Garden, and the families of the 9/11 firefighters for whom he successfully fought to restore millions in support funds. To say the least, he's had an illustrious career, serving as Deputy Mayor of Operations for New York City during a fraught time in America. He's also served as a federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. And he's been a legendary attorney at Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher, King & Spalding, and Cravath, Swaine & Moore, where, as a young lawyer, he displayed his ability as part of the successful libel defense team in the Westmoreland versus CBS defamation case. Randy remains deeply affiliated with the law school as a member of our board of advisors and as an adjunct professor, as well as a mentor to a Levy Scholar. One of the other things that will always define Randy is what he did after 9/11. Randy eulogized New York City firefighters, represented 80 firefighters fighting for compensation on a pro bono basis, and spearheaded a fundraising drive for 9/11 charities. He's been named one of the 100 most influential lawyers in America. Randy is a fierce competitor and an incredibly skilled lawyer, but Randy is also a tremendous human being. I'm deeply grateful to have served with Randy on our board of advisors over the past 8 years, and deeply honored to name Randy Mastro the recipient of this year's Alumni Award of Merit.
When people ask me how I'm doing these days, I sometimes say I'm just a humble lawyer trying to make a living, which usually draws a laugh because humility isn't the first thing that comes to mind about me. But on this special occasion, I am truly humbled and honored to be receiving this award. I want to thank the Alumni Society, Dean Ruger, the Board of Advisors, on which I've been honored to serve for the past 15 years, and the entire Penn Carey Law community. But I do want to do a special shout out to the class of 1981. Dean Fitz used to tell me that I was lucky I went to Penn when I did because I couldn't get in today. And that may be true of me, but not of the incredible class of 1981. Counselors to presidents, governors, mayors, judges, law professors, elected officials, leaders of top law firms and top practitioners in their field, titans in industry and leaders of enormously successful businesses, lawyers who dedicated their careers to public service, to public interest law, to helping those in need like special education. Even one of the country's great fiction writers who, not surprisingly, writes legal mysteries. So on behalf of the incredible class of 1981, whose careers I've watched with awe and admiration, I accept this award on behalf of the class of 1981. Now, Dean Ruger told me that this is a Lifetime Achievement Award. I feel way too young to be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I know I speak on behalf of the entire class of 1981 when I say we still have so many mountains to climb, so many more chapters to write. And as I like to say, the best is yet to come. Thank you for this great honor.
We turn now to the Distinguished Service Award, also known affectionately as the GOAT. This year's winner is Beth Brown. Beth is a fundraising force of nature. During the quarter century she led development and alumni relations at the law school, Beth compiled an extraordinary record. Our endowment quadrupled during that time. Scholarship support increased by over 100%. The faculty size increased by 40%. Alumni engagement increased, going from 5 regional clubs to 15. Our entire physical plant was rebuilt and remodeled, culminating in the construction of Golkin Hall, for which Beth raised the resources. And as the architect of the Bold Ambitions campaign, the largest in our school's history, she led the efforts to raise $200 million, twice the original goal. Beth has had success at every stop in her career. She's had success at Villanova in the Advancement and Residential Life offices, success at the University of Penn Fund, and now success at Tulane University. Mike Fitz, my predecessor and former law school dean, who's currently president of Tulane, said of Beth, "In addition to her brilliance as a fundraiser, Beth innovates, builds community, and mentors with an unparalleled combination of work ethic, passion, and compassion for those around her. Beth's tireless dedication to Penn Carey Law will be felt for decades to come." I agree completely with Mike on all of that. Most of what I know about fundraising, I learned from Beth when I took over here as dean, and I'm forever grateful to her for her guidance, just as we collectively are forever grateful at the law school for Beth's many contributions. Because of her, we are extremely well positioned for the future. And I'm delighted to present the Distinguished Service Award to Beth Brown.
Dean Ruger, thank you for those lovely remarks. Well, I'm assuming and hoping they're lovely remarks, since I'm sending this video in before I know what you said. First, I'd like to thank Leslie Altus and the Law Alumni Society Board of Managers for this singular honor. When I began my tenure at Penn Law in 1994, I presumed it was a stop along the way that would lead me somewhere else in reasonably short order. I mean, that's what 30-somethings of my generation thought. But that stop along the way lasted for 25 years, 3 deans, thousands of students, and scores of dedicated alumni. To put in context just how long ago I started at the law school, 1994 was the first season that Friends aired on TV. Back then, I woke up to an actual alarm clock. And yes, I carried, or more accurately, lugged, my brick phone all across the nation so the office could stay in touch while I was on the road. That, my friends, was a very long time ago. My young self would never have written the script that ultimately became my life story, or a lot of it. To have served Penn Law for almost a quarter of a century was my distinct pleasure. It was my privilege to work with an amazing group of alumni, fellow staff members, deans, and faculty. The esprit de corps of Penn Law was palpable. The work was hard, but meaningful. As the Chief Development Officer for the law school, I could see the results of our efforts in the students who were able to attend Penn Law because of the scholarship dollars we raised, in the extraordinary faculty who we could attract because of our endowed professorships, and in the stunning facilities that we were able to build and renovate, all because of our dedicated alums who so generously supported the school. I'm truly touched by this honor. Thank you again. My heartfelt gratitude goes to all of you who made my life deeper and richer because of your presence in it.
And now for our final award of the evening, the James Wilson Award for Lifetime Achievement, which honors a lifetime of service to the legal profession. The recipient of this major honor this year is the Honorable William Platt. Judge Platt is a proud member of the law school's class of 1964. It's been 59 years since his graduation. Judge Platt used the intervening time well in service to Lehigh County, to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and to the broader profession. He served first in the U.S. military as part of the U.S. Army Military Police Corps from 1964 to 1966. He then entered private practice, then moved to the Public Defender's Office of Lehigh Valley, eventually rising to Chief Public Defender in 1975. Then he became District Attorney for Lehigh County for 15 years, Allentown City Solicitor, Judge of the Court of Common Pleas of Lehigh County for 14 years, including 2 terms as President Judge, and then Judge of Superior Court of Pennsylvania, retiring for a well-deserved respite in 2018. Judge Platt is known for his intellectual curiosity, his sense of justice, and understanding of the practical implications of his decisions. As a public defender, he memorably represented a defendant charged with and convicted of murder, managing to convince the Pennsylvania Supreme Court to grant a new trial based on a burden of proof argument. When he was a trial court judge, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court called on his expertise, appointing him to make recommendations in a convoluted case of libel and organized crime in which one of the parties alleged judicial improprieties. During his career, Judge Platt issued numerous important opinions in drug, child custody, tort liability, and medical malpractice cases. He was a stalwart member of the bench, a man of humility, and, like James Wilson, a person of superior intellect and commitment to the law. On behalf of the law school, I'm honored to recognize Judge William Platt with this year's James Wilson Award.
Thank you, Dean Ruger. And thank you to the Law Alumni Society for this wonderful award. I am deeply moved and honored to have been selected to receive the James Wilson Award, presented for a lifetime of service to the profession. As a retiree, I am pleased to know that I am not yet among the forgotten. Thanks to my wife and family, who supported and gave me the time to pursue my professional interests. I would be remiss if I did not express at this time special thanks to Dean Ruger for his 8 years of distinguished leadership of Penn Law School, and wish him continued success as he returns to teaching. My career in looking back is not unusual. Private practice, public defense, prosecution, trial, and appellate judgeships. It is also quite normal for those with such day jobs to become involved, as I did, in side legal positions involving non-compensatory professional tasks and associations. So what can I say today about my career in public service? I believe it to be rooted in a good foundation provided by Penn Law. I also have a belief that hard work, good luck, and timing, being at the right place at the right time, all contributed to whatever successes I have had. I turn to that great philosopher, Yogi Berra, and his advice. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. My career in public service really began when, at the age of 36, the court appointed me district attorney. I was the county's part-time chief public defender and had not sought the appointment. Honestly, I had originally taken a part-time position as an assistant public defender, not out of altruism, but to supplement our income. My wife was pregnant, and we wanted her to be a full-time mother. At that career-changing fork in the road, my earning prospects seemed better if I stayed on the same road I was on. But the appeal and challenge of the new calling was too much to resist. After all, if I did not like the job, I could get back on the other road in 3 years. Well, I loved the job. It provided me with the opportunity to do real public good, to grow professionally, and become involved in many related areas and organizations: DA, criminal rules, bar associations, PBI, and even to returning for a short 5-year stint in private practice before finally back to public service as a judge. One further thing, all of my life and luck was not all good. During my first 10-year stint in private practice, an arsonist set fire to the law offices directly below mine. We lost everything, including the next year in recovering. Then in my second private practice venture, my office was in a suite in a brand new office building in downtown Allentown. Shortly after it opened, that building began to sink into a sinkhole. Recovery there took only a day or two because all of our records and files were backed up on a remote server. It is my belief that neither of these events led to my choosing public service over private practice, but I admit one could argue otherwise.